We wake up in the morning and not knowing if Damar Hamlin is alive after taking a shot to the chest, making a tackle, passing out in front of all of us on live TV. Probably, I don't know what the numbers are, probably one of the most watched Monday Night Football games probably this year. We watch a man now clinging to life. And it puts it all into perspective. It's a game, but it's a whole lot more. Good morning to you. And happy Wednesday. It's just a different feel than anything that I've ever seen, and I've been in this game for a long time. All of you who listen to this format care about sports. You've seen a lot of games. I don't know if anybody's ever seen anything like that. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. I say good morning to you on a morning that you and I have been doing this together for, however many years. We're coming up on 14 and a half years of this show. I've been doing this for a long time. I don't know that I've ever had this particular feeling watching a game and sitting with my daughter and saying, watch what happened, and having this feeling like they can't put these guys back on a football field. And if there's a good thing that happened, they did the right thing as far as what happened afterwards. They got quick medical care, supposedly the best medical care, and they didn't put those men back out there and make them play football.
It's a situation where so many times you see a player go down, even scary situations. We've talked about concussions when we saw Tua freeze on the field, the Dolphins quarterback, after a hit. And you become so accustomed to seeing some of the worst things happen, like players not moving. But then 30 minutes later, they're like, oh, we got an update, and things are okay, and everyone's happy at the hospital, and then the dude's in concussion protocol. And so it's par for the course. When we talk about severe injuries, even concussions and everything that we've seen, you get accustomed to that. But then when you see the player's reaction to CPR being administered on the field, that's next level scary. And you just saw it on the faces of all the Buffalo Bills. I think there was an instant, too, of the players that weren't around it. It kind of took them a minute to realize what was going on, because you're just going through the motions. You're like, all right, player's injured. Something bad has happened. Thoughts and prayers. You never want to see your brother on the field like that. And then you kind of get ready to move on. And then you started to realize really quickly that was not the case in this instance.
Yeah, that moving on can't happen today. Perspective is a big part of this, right? You sit there and you watch it. To your point, we saw this happen to Tua on that field. Freeze. And you're like, oh my goodness. And we played the game, right? I mean, they took him to the hospital. You played the game. And we've seen countless of these things go on, and you play the game. I'm sitting there with my 16-year-old daughter last night, and we're watching these grown men cry. These big, strong, physical, grown men cry. And I don't know if she said it first or I said it first, but you can't make them play football again, right? You can't put these men back out on the field. And the perspective of what we do every day, you guys, I watched 4 football games before that yesterday, right? I didn't watch much of the LSU game because there wasn't much to watch. But I watched that Cotton Bowl, and I watched the Rose Bowl, and I watched Zach Arnett get his first victory as a head coach. And the day before, I watched every football game. And the day before that, Amory, we talked, and good morning and Happy New Year to you.
You do.
We talked back, I don't know, November, whatever it was, that every day until whatever the date was, we're going to get football every day, right? And we celebrate it. And we watch every damn game. And it's a violent sport. It's controlled violence. It is what it is. Anybody who's ever played it, whatever level, you put on a helmet and you kind of, I guess, assume that there's the risk of something pretty gnarly happening. I don't know that as much football as I've watched in my life, and look, I'm going to watch it again tomorrow. right? Or whenever they're going to play again. I'm going to watch. I'm watching every game on Saturday. There's two, and I'm watching every game on Sunday, and I'm watching the national championship game next Monday. And like I love it. I make my living in it, and it's inherent. But I'm not going to lie, man. I was shaken last night. I was shaken watching the replay of the hit, which seems so innocuous, right? T. Higgins has the ball, runs over the middle, kind of lowers his head. Damar Hamlin comes up to make a tackle. He stayed high. He got hit in the chest. T. Higgins' head comes in and hits him. The man got up and then fell. Where were you guys emotionally? Did it affect you immediately? Did you,
I was.
Did it grab
I
you?
was bawling
Were you really?
when I saw when I saw Josh Allen's reaction and the players' reaction.
Yeah.
Because I thought not that it was just concussion, but I didn't understand the severity of it. But when you see all the players reacting, I don't know, just like triggered. I don't know.
No.
I've never seen anything like it. Like you said, this is our business. I mean, I watch this all day, every day. Never seen anything like it.
That's kind of what will tell you how bad a situation
The players'
is.
reaction there.
Because they're
Yeah,
right
I was
there.
like, I mean, yeah, just Josh Allen, and then just like
Because that's different. When they see their teammate
Not
CPR for
not,
9
like,
minutes.
CPR on the field,
Yeah.
like you're not ready for that. You're ready for, oh, you've seen a guy have a concussion. Oh, I'm sorry about your knee. Like, oh, like all these things that you go through the motions because you've been there, done that as an athlete. You could see that's entirely different. And we haven't seen it from a player's perspective. I'm thinking you've seen coaches collapse on the field. And I was thinking even about Bob Davey at that time, and because I remember that
I was thinking Jerry Kill.
just like instances of dramatic things happen. I know it was in the locker room, and people didn't watch it happen other than the players in the locker room. And just trying to think of like, out of nowhere situations, and that's one where everyone was guessing like what
No
had
doubt,
happened,
no
and
doubt.
you just take a step back because you have no idea. You just know the worst case scenario, because when you have to administer CPR to someone, that's like last line of defense you have before you can start getting the medical care you needed. And it was good to learn last night when they started reporting on it that we know that there's medical professionals involved, but they have like I'm sorry, I forget the term, but they have like specific medical professionals to help with breathing and things like that at the stadium. So you're able to get that treatment for him, get him in the ambulance, and then get him to the hospital.
Yeah, the reports are that Damar Hamlin's heart stopped, and hence the CPR, the life-saving measures. There was a report last night that his vitals were stabilized. He's in critical conditions, that they intubated him. They put him to sleep so they could put a breathing tube down his throat. And I saw so many reports, and I don't know what's credible and what's not, and that's why I hate talking about it. But this one seemed credible from a medical professional that said, 24 hours after a cardiac incident like that, it is not uncommon to intubate a person for 24 hours to stabilize them. And so when I saw a report that the vitals were, that he had vitals, with all due respect, I don't want to sound too dramatic, and I don't think you can, that he had vitals, that there were vital signs, that he was alive. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I almost puked thinking I saw a man die on the football field. And what I thought of, and the Bob Davey thing didn't come to mind because I didn't see it, it was in the locker room, was Jerry Kill against New Mexico State all those years ago. And I don't know if you remember when Jerry first came on our show, when he got the New Mexico State job, I told him, and it's God's honest truth, I said, I didn't know you. But when I saw Jerry Kill pass out when New Mexico State played Minnesota a decade or so ago, and he dropped on the sideline, like I remember standing up pacing my living room. Like, that man, did I just watch a man die on the football field coaching a game? And I had that same disgusting feeling last night. And I don't know what the long game is in this, other than it brings into focus the reality of what these men are doing on a daily basis to entertain us, right? And to make a living. Now, let's not. It's not all about, and to make a handsome living. But what they do in putting their lives on the line, and I saw comparisons with police officers and our military, and that's not untrue. It's not untrue. I mean, there's inherent risks in those types of jobs, but I don't want to see this again. I don't want to become numb to this. And maybe the reason that we're all so taken by this is because we haven't seen it, right? To your points, we've seen dudes cart off like bones sticking out, ankles
Injuries,
turned the wrong way, legs bent in ways that, you think of Alex Smith and Joe Theismann and Tua this year. And I mean, right, we all got to, and those were horrible, man. Like horrible, career ending, but the word career and the word life, right? When we all were wondering, was this young man going to live? I don't want to get numb to that, man. I don't need to see that again. I'm going to watch football the next time it's on. I'm going to love football. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to make my living in football. It just put, I don't know, man, for me, and it put everything into focus, into a different focus.
Yeah, and it's a situation you're never prepared for. You always talk about thinking, oh, you've seen everything you can see.
No.
And, it's one that it's just so, like, the chance of this happening, I don't even know what they would be.
Well,
But for
it's never
just
happened.
all those circumstances to come together and then witness that, I think as it went on, the initial reaction is there's a lot of anger. People are like, oh, the NFL is gonna, continue to play this game. Players, I think there were a lot of players that, for a couple minutes, like the Bengals sideline, you're not there, and then you see, oh, wait, there's CPR going on. Oh my gosh, this reaction to the players, like it got to the right conclusion at the end of the night. There's no way that these players could go back in the field. And now you start, asking a question too, if you're the rest of the NFL and there's some guys that are playing meaningless games this week other than, yes, you're getting your paycheck, this is what you're paid to do. What kind of effect is that going to have on the league after watching what happened last night?
There's a million tentacles to this. There's a lot of branches on this topic tree, and where does it go? When we come back, so here's what we're gonna do, and we'll run the gamut today. We're gonna get to global basketball as the only undefeated team left in America after Purdue got beat by Rutgers last night in West Lafayette, 65-64. Lobos play tonight in Fresno. We will get into that. We'll get into Zach Arnett getting his first victory as a head coach and how they covered, which is crazy in its own right, and the Rose Bowl and all that stuff, and Donovan Mitchell going for 71. But we're here, 505-246-0610. That's the 377 Brewery hotline, as well as the text line. And walk through what you felt last night and your emotions and in your thoughts and how you deal with it and put it in perspective. I mean, I've still got a lot more thoughts to share with you on my perspective, and I know you do too. When we come back, I want to get into how they handled it, because there was some encouraging stuff that came out of it. The leadership of head coaches, the brotherhood of men, the way they came together after something so horrific happened. I would argue with you that the right things happened. And it wasn't the easy thing to do. It's the opening drive, 505-246-0610. Me and JJ and A-Marie, Adrian's producing on ProView Networks. You can watch the show on Comcast Channel 26 on our Facebook page, the OD in the AM. Thanks for being with us this morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
The horrific scene, Damar Hamlin dropping on the field last night, Monday Night Football, the game being postponed, maybe canceled. The NFL is going to have to figure that piece out. Damar Hamlin, the latest that we've heard, is still in critical condition in a hospital in Cincinnati. There really hasn't been any update since last night that I've seen. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, A. Marie, 505-246-0610 is how to get here. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM. You can send an email, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com or JJ, sportsanimalabq.com. So as we're watching this last night, and all of us going from the numbness of, oh, there's another head injury, to holy bleep, this is not just another head injury, to what is going on here, to watching grown men cry, to is this young man, did we just watch somebody die in front of us, right? I mean, literally go through that. Zach Taylor and Sean McDermott, the head coaches of Cincinnati and Buffalo, got together. And I don't know who ultimately made the decision. I guess at some point the story will come out, and I've seen some reports on this. But I got the feel that ultimately this was the players saying, we're not playing again. We're not going out and doing this anymore. We can't do this tonight, which was the right call. And amongst or amidst something that was so horrific as we sat there and watched it, I don't know about you. I needed something to be comforting, and there was something comforting in two men competing in maybe the biggest game of the year, coming together and doing the right thing and saying, hey, man, we're not playing football. Let them figure this out later. There's something way freaking bigger than football going on here, and we're not doing this tonight. I don't know. For me, at least they did the right thing and let these men not go back out there and take care of their emotions, their mental health, their brother, do the right thing. And I wasn't certain that was going to happen for a minute.
No, and it wasn't passed along that way, because they stated multiple times on the broadcast that they were going to resume playing. There'll be a warm-up period, get the players back on the field. But it's one of those things that I know a lot of people are angry in the moment, but there's a process that goes on. And everyone else that might not have been directly involved with seeing what was happening, you just kind of start going through the motions, and then you start realizing how serious that incident is. You see the reaction of the players, the coaches step in, and then the right decision was made.
There were adults in the room. And look, we'll worry about when we play this game, if we play this game. But they did the right thing in that moment. Adolph, good morning to you.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. And I was not watching the game last night when I received a text from a good friend of mine indicating what had happened on the field, and it immediately brought me back to a situation 50 years ago when I was a freshman at Western Illinois University, and I was watching the Chicago Bears play the Detroit Lions.
1971.
And it was basically an inconsequential game, and it was in black and white, and I saw a Detroit Lions player by the name of Chuck Hughes collapse on the field. And immediately, or I should say, people didn't know what to do. And I still remember, and I'm 70 years old now, and I still remember Dick Butkus feverishly getting the attention of the Detroit Lions trainers to come out on the field. There's some things that are indelibly etched in my mind as a man and as a fan. And when I received word of what happened in last night's game, it was almost like getting a flashback from October of 1971 when Chuck Hughes passed away. Incidentally, the Lions and the Bears continued that game. And I don't know in today's world, and believe me, I have no objection to continuing that game or postponing this game, suspending this game after last night's horrific incident. But, again, it's a violent game. It's controlled violence.
Yep.
And unfortunately, when you have a situation like this, yes, has it happened before? Yes, it has. I've seen terrible things on a Formula One racetrack around the world, and it really causes one to stop and think, like, wow. Anytime you see an athletic activity, I don't care whether it's horse racing, baseball, basketball, whatever, that yes, is it rare? Yes. Can it happen?
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to indicate to people that, yes, this has happened before, and I certainly hope that the Bills player recovers. That's all I have. I'm out. Thank you.
It was October 24th, 1971. And Chuck Hughes, former UTEP, Texas Western at the time, player, entered the game. He wasn't even involved in like the pass and catch. It was Greg Landry to Charlie Sanders, dropped near the end zone. Hughes was a decoy on that play, and he was going back to the huddle, and he dropped, clutched his chest, and it was diagnosed later. He had a pre-existing condition. But yeah, no, it's 1971. You know, I don't remember that. I'd never seen anything like what I saw last night. 505-246-0610. Kevin, good morning.
Yeah, thanks for letting me on. So the Bills did post on Twitter that they said that he had a heart attack. That's what the official Twitter Bills statement was. It was at 11:48 p.m. last night.
Okay.
And I find it really, really scary because, of course, everyone wants to go back and cite all these rare occurrences that have happened in the past. And I think that that's really short-sighted for everybody to start normalizing what's really happening. And there's a lot of finger-pointing going on right now. And I'm going to open up a Pandora's box here, but basically there's the vice versa, the other people pointing back and saying, well, it's COVID. You know, it's this maybe a biological weapon that basically is causing these heart problems in these people. And then there's people trying to normalizing it, which is true. And then there's a multiple choice question. It's all of the above or none of the above, right? And so all I want to say is I'm really kind of frustrated by people doing all of that. There's people like your last caller trying to normalizing it, and then there's other people saying it's because of the vaccine. And let's face it, everybody in the NFL had to take that vaccine except for Aaron Rodgers and a couple others, and they were suspended for it. And then COVID. We know that COVID also strains the heart. And so we really don't know what's going on, and let's just all, keep saying our prayers for Hamlin. And let's also say our prayers that this doesn't become something that we see a lot more of here in the next couple of years, because there's something going on. And thanks for letting me on.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks for letting us talk.
All right. I didn't hear the beginning of what he said. Obviously, he cut out, but obviously he's saying, is this a one-time incident, and this has happened once in the last 50 years? Or is it because of, is that what he was saying? Because of the vaccine and because there's something going on and we don't know? And he obviously got hit in the chest. T. Higgins' head hit him in the chest. There was an abrupt shot to the chest that I'm not going to sit here and say caused it, but certainly precipitated that, right? We all saw that.
Yeah, the thing the Bills posted last night was that Mar Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest following a hit in our game versus the Bengals. His heartbeat was restored on the field, and he was transferred to the medical center.
Yeah. All right. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. And I would anticipate maybe we get some sort of an update in the next 2.5 hours while we're on the air. And as we do, we'll pass that along, but we'll continue to take your conversation on this at 505-246-0610. If you're in business, heck, if you're in life, you get it. Computers, network, remote access, it's all vital to how your business operates. Now you got to deal with hackers who threaten everything about your business as well. ABQ IT provides state-of-the-art cyber security, and more business owners realize that that's a necessary part of processing and protecting your data. ABQ IT created a business model that gives you peace of mind. You'll know your system is secure. They watch for any activity that's malicious. They protect your operation, keep it working efficiently. Best of all, they do it at one predictable monthly cost. So you currently get several bills, one from the internet provider, one from a cybersecurity company, another when you buy new equipment. With ABQ IT, there's no hourly rate, no labor billing, no hidden fees, no out-of-scope charges. Your rate will be predictable and will not change. Business owners get a free assessment from ABQ IT. Don't worry about computer problems again. ABQ IT is who you should give a call. That's abq-it.com, abq-it.com.
Young, here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudahl with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask.
Well, first. Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Bardella.
Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
And Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe he's playing zone right now.
Fight's 3 is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down for the left side, from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
A perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big 3! Buried in by Dylan McCleskey.
Trifectas of her own. Fires it off down low. Campos off the glass, and there it is.
Quick this shot, another shot up with 5 seconds. Transition 3 is up, and it hit at the buzzer by Ian Holmesburg. Picture perfect execution, ball it hit the ground in 5 seconds.
Ball is stolen away by Montoya. Sartans are on the break. Calb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Calb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Calb.
Go one-on-one, and this is good things usually have. Oh, great.
H.A. Rivera.
I think the story in this one is the pressure defense that has turned up. They force another turnover. Calb's on the break.
Throw it down.
Calb puts it down. Brian Calb with the dunk in transition.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors.
I mean, I don't know that you guys would remember this. Remember Hank Gathers, the Loyola Marymount basketball player who collapsed on the floor?
I do not.
Pretty certain he didn't have the vaccine. I mean, it's just, sometimes these things happen. Will we find out that DeMar Hamlin had some sort of a pre-existing condition? I don't know. Would it be that shot to the chest hit right in the right spot? I don't know. I'm not ready to jump to any conclusions yet. That's all I'm saying. I'm just not. All I know is a young man's fighting for his life, and we watched everything play out in front of our eyes, and I know it affected me, and I think it affected most of you. That's what I do know right now, and I know that they made the right decision not playing any more football that night. 505-246-0610. Jess, good morning.
Good morning. Well, first off, I don't think Adolph was trying to normalize anything either. He was comparing it to the one time it brought, did it happen before, right? That he watched in his life. That's 50 years ago. Also, I don't think, you know what? Save that take for the House of Strauss, bro.
I don't know if that's going to become a normalized.
I mean, it was just a reach on that whole thing, Jeff. The Pandora's box. I mean, the guy mentioned something about a biological warfare.
Yeah.
I mean, get out of here. I think this was a freak thing that happened. Hopefully, they'll be able to figure it out. It could have been worse, but I had that same thought as you, Jeff. And we were exchanging messages with the boys last night. There's a moment when you thought, wow, I'm going to watch somebody die. And then, I'm thinking, is ESPN going to show it? They just going to kick that straight to the studio the whole time? Booger McFarland's crying. Stacey Cole. Nobody knows what to say.
That was some of the most awkward television I've ever watched. Watching the three of those three people sit in that studio and have to fill time, and you don't want to speculate. I mean, I don't know what they should have done, but I felt so bad for those three human beings sitting in that studio trying to fill that time.
Right. And at one point, Booger had described how he'd never seen anything like that. And Susie asks him, well, as a player, what's it like? And I was like, I don't know. I don't even think you guys should be talking to each other. He obviously was like distraught. It was very, like you said, it was extremely awkward. And then after that, I had an employee of mine call me who was watching the game, and we discussed that briefly. And if that had happened to somebody, at work, one of my employees, something like that happened, I tell you, Jeff, we're going home.
Of course.
We're not going back to work.
Of course.
So, and it's just, I think they did the right thing. I don't think anything was, had they played, then we're going to start questioning what was the point. Now we see what the decision is going to, because something has to happen, with the game. I think they technically got to play it, right? In a way.
Do they? I mean, do they? What if they don't?
I guess you don't have to.
What if they don't? Because I don't know where they're going to play it. It would have to be today or tomorrow. I don't know where or push the whole playoffs back a week. I just don't know where they're going to play it. And so do they have to?
Right. I guess, I mean, I suppose you can decide the standings and the seeds and all that without that game, right?
You can do anything you need to do. You
right.
Can do anything you need to do.
I mean, hopefully the young man is all right, and at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters. I hope everybody has a good day.
Thanks, Jess. I appreciate you. I mean, we can talk about football if you want. Do they have to play it? I mean, it's a big game. It was important. It was in, two top teams in the AFC and the number one seeds on the line, and so is a young man's life. And they, with all due respect, they could figure it out. If they don't play that game, they could figure out percentages and figure out who the number one seed is.
That's the right way to look at it right now. It's so late in the season. There's things that have to be decided after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole league is still moving on.
You gotta have
even
that conversation.
In a tragic situation.
Yes.
So you can look at, as you said, winning percentages. You can just say as is.
Yep. Call it a tie. You can do whatever you want.
Like there's a lot of things, and I think both teams, of course, would be open to it. You saw the way Cincinnati handled it last night. Zach Taylor going over, talking with Sean McDermott, going through that situation, deciding there's no way we can continue to play this game. And move on, and you can think you can have all your bases covered, but then there's still things that, like what we saw last night, that teams are learning, the league has to figure out. But the thing is, they didn't continue to play this game. I know there's kind of a lot of outrage at the moment. How could the players still be there? How could you even be throwing a football at that time? They never got back out there, and you just saw, anytime something like that happens, look at the faces of the teammates. Because they've been there, done that through so many situations, and that was a situation that no one has seen on a football field.
Wayne, good morning.
Good morning. I don't agree with homeboy just a minute ago, because he said it could have been worse. Like, the guy wasn't breathing, period. Like, I mean, everybody saw how bad it was, and it still took the NFL a good 30-some minutes to figure that out. I don't know if you watched the interview with Stephen A. Smith on SportsCenter. He was saying, well, I think the NFL was kind of waiting to see if he was going to be breathing again, and maybe they were going to let him play still. And but Ryan Clark and Booker McFarland was 100% right when they said he wasn't breathing. Like, this is different than someone breaking an ankle, someone getting concussion. This is something they've never seen, and it was obvious to everybody watching, including the NFL commissioner who should have been watching the game too. That was obvious to cancel it, but it took the coaches and the players to say, you know what, no, we're not going to play. But then the NFL to be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't play. And Ryan Clark made it very clear. He said it was very clear that they're more worried about green than they were about money or blood, and that was evident when they were like, okay, they're going to give a 5-minute break, and the players were so focused on, okay, let's get ready, that even Trayvon Diggs was trying to motivate his players to play again. And when the players decided to, like, they couldn't do it, then the head coach of the Bengals had to go across and say, you know what, no. And they went again to the locker room and still said no. And until then, that's when the NFL, and even Scott Van Pelt, who watched the game, who was not there, because Stephen A. Smith's argument was, well, the players had more of an impact, so they knew how it felt. That's why they decided not to play. But it was evident even to Scott Van Pelt, who was not there, that it was worse than a regular injury. Who was not the game, and was obvious to them. So why wasn't it obvious to the NFL? Because it was more about the money. And that was frustrating for them, even the players. And Ryan Clark was very adamant about that. And Scott Van Pelt brought it home, too, because they were still thinking about playing after 5 minutes later. That kind of stuff was what I found very frustrating and heartbreaking, that it was obvious to everyone else who's watching, probably even to you guys, that it was more egregious than a regular injury, and the NFL had to wait until the coaches and the players decided to say, no, we can't, for them to finally take action. And to me, that was was very disheartening, probably more than almost as bad as Hamlin being injured. And the way they didn't give us a press conference or an update that night, and I hate to say this, but it made me think that it's more worse than it is, because it makes you think that he's either brain dead or dead, and they're waiting for the parents and the family to figure out what they're going to do. Yeah. That's why they were thinking about giving a press release that day. And if he was really, like, genuinely okay, then I think they would give us some kind of update. But I think it's more than it is, and that's why there hasn't been an update right now. So, but I just want to give my take on that. I think it was disheartening how the NFL handled it. Everybody's giving the credit for the NFL for canceling it, but it was pretty much they were forced to do it because the coaches and the players said no. Yeah, so I just wanted to chime in on that. But I hope everything's okay with you guys too, and hope you have a blessed New Year as well.
They got to the right place, and I don't know what the procedure was. I think Stephen A. Smith and everybody else was speculating like you and I were on our couch, right?
I think that's kind of just like forced outrage to be mad at something at this point in time.
I'm just glad they got to the right decision.
Like, they didn't play football, man. Like, you're kind of going through the process, and we can all sit here and say after the fact that we knew in that moment how bad it was. Like, no one played football again. Maybe some players throwing football. You heard on the broadcast Joe Buck say a couple times
they might play.
They might play. There's 5-minute warrant period, but you're also just kind of going through the motions too, in that regard. Like, and
Troy Vincent, the NFL executive vice president for operations, said he doesn't know where that 5-minute clock came from, and that the NFL was never considering any sort of clock to resume play at that moment. The NFL said that, and Ryan, thanks for that. Flat out said that they don't know where that came from. Bree, Tony, stay there. We got to hit this break. 505-246-0610. I want to tell you about IPS real quick, because IPS protects my home. I was gone a little bit last week, had a package delivered. They picked it up. They were there every day. They stopped by. I saw them on the cameras every day. They stopped by, make sure the house is okay. They secure things. They keep the bad guys away. And as you know, property crimes on the increase as we enter this new year. Protect what's important to you, what you've worked so hard to build, your business, your home, your family, and call IPS. It's affordable, private security that started back in 2006 up in Fort Hills. And now all these years later, hundreds of homeowners and business owners throughout Albuquerque trust IPS to protect what they've worked so hard to build. Highly trained armed guards, 24-hour patrols committed to our city and to your protection. Call IPS at 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420 or online at ipsglobal.com.
This report is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food, locally owned and operated, with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry.
AM 610, the sports animal.
All right, we're talking about Damar Hamlin's situation. He is still in critical condition in a Cincinnati hospital after dropping on the field last night in front of all of us on Monday Night Football. 505-246-0610 is how to get to us, 888-922-0610. Bree, thanks for holding. Good morning, Bree.
Good morning. I just want to talk about the one good thing I think that this tragedy's really done. You know, I think everybody sat on their couch was just in shock and didn't know what to do. And people started looking online and found that Hamlin had a GoFundMe to help raise money for children for toys. Yeah. And that was originally, I think, a $3,000 request, and they've got up to $3 million.
It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, it sucks that it took this to happen, but everybody out there didn't know what else to do. And so just to give to something, I think that made it something that they could do to make this not hurt as bad.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great point, Bree. Thanks. Don't be a stranger, okay?
Uh-huh.
Thanks.
You too. Bye.
I saw it over $3 million. It was like their goal was like 2,500 or something.
Well, yeah, it was, and it's one of those things too. You start learning that there's a lot of good people you just never talk about. It's just like a Bill Safety making some plays. Had no idea who he was, and then you start learning about his story. He was a 4-star recruit kid out of Pittsburgh that he was getting recruited by everyone. You know, he could have had his pick of the colleges to go to, and he stayed home. Yeah. And because he had, at the time when he was senior in high school, had a 2-year-old little brother. And the story was, he's like, I wanted to be a role model for my little brother. I stayed home. He went to the University of Pittsburgh, still balled out, found his way to the NFL.
6th round pick who earned his way into the starting lineup with one of the best teams in the NFL.
You just start learning about this kid, everything he was doing, and then it's GoFundMe, and it's just a great person, and you hope for the best out of this situation.
Tony, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, guys. What a sad moment to see that. God, I mean, it puts a lot of stuff in perspective for I hope for a lot of people out there that, you know, human life is bigger than the sport. I had a buddy of mine call me up as soon as it happened, and he was like, "Hey man, but aren't they professionals? Shouldn't they be playing? You know, they are professionals." I'm like, "Yeah, man, but at the end of the day, they're humans, man. You know, and it's so sad. And you know, good that, you know, they suspended the game, but shame on the NFL for dragging it on like that. And because I heard the same thing, that it came down to the players. Like the NFL pretty much told the players, "Hey man, you guys want to play? If you don't, you don't." But that right there, the NFL could have really stepped in and been the savior. Pretty much
let me give you this,
"Hey, you know
quick.
what? No, let's do this for him. Let's, you know, cancel it. You know, for you guys, you know, get right in your heads and everything." Because, you know, how good. And look, we can sit here and speculate all we want, say, no, you know, the intensity wouldn't have been there, you know, because their minds would have been somewhere else. We don't know, but I mean, let's you know.
Yeah,
let's go to the human side of it, and let's just go ahead and cancel it. But you know, you said one thing, Jeff, that, you know, hey, you know, the winning percentage and everything. But if you're the Bengals and you have a shot at the number 1 seed, how are you going to feel a week from now?
Well,
2 weeks from now, when you have to play a wild card game instead of sitting at home?
You know,
I mean, that's something to consider. That's something to think about.
I don't know how I'm going to feel in a week. I don't. All I know is what happened. And here's my deal on what went down on the field. Like I know everybody's losing their mind on the time. I think it took a second to figure out the severity, and then they did. Okay, now what do? There's no precedent, okay? And evidently Troy Vincent, and I'm going to say this again, said there was no, Troy Vincent's the NFL EVP. There was never a 5-minute warm-up period, right? So I don't know where that came from, and nor does he. He said there was no other time frame or other than making sure both teams had proper time in the locker room. Quote, this is Troy Vincent. It never crossed our mind to talk about warming up to resume play. That's ridiculous. That's insensitive. That was a quote.
Okay.
And it's evidently the NFL was listening in through the referees' microphones. You know, they all have microphones. So the NFL was listening in through that as the referee spoke with Sean McDermott and Zach Taylor about going back to the locker room, and they were discussing what to do. Quote from Vincent again, it was fluid and things were changing by the minute. Emotions were extremely high. It was a very volatile situation. You guys, here's my deal. And I guess in retrospect, if we need to be angry, and I don't know why we need to be angry about this, they got to the right place. They did the right thing. I don't know that right away he was down, okay, we're canceling the game. Or we're calling off the game. They got to the right place. It took a minute. It was uncomfortable at home. I don't think they got the right communication up to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, and that might have been, if there was an error, that might have been it, because we're all sitting at home kind of guessing as they were guessing, and we figured that they're more educated than we are, when in retrospect they weren't. But I guess I don't have a huge problem with the process like some people do.
Yeah, I just and you're so right. You know, that information came in very late, but it would have been, you know, hey, we're having to administer CPR. Yeah, that's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We're suspending the game.
I think we all knew that.
Is what I think a lot of people want.
Yeah, and I think we knew that's where we're going.
Hear that quick. Yeah. So, but
Tony, thanhanks. I got
just prayers for the kid, man.
No doubt. I think we all knew at that point that's where it was going, right? But you needed it, and if you needed to hear it right away, I mean, I guess we got to complain about something, but sometimes maybe it's nobody's fault. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Outlook.
Young, here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudahl with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask.
Well, first.
Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Bardella.
Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
And Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe he's playing zone right now.
Fight's 3 is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down for the left side, from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
A perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big 3! Buried in by Dylan McCleskey.
Trifectas of her own. Fires it off down low. Campos off the glass, and there it is. Quick this shot. They got a shot up in 5 seconds.
Transition 3 is up, and it's hit at the buzzer by Ian Tolingsberg.
Picture perfect execution. Ball it hit the ground in 5 seconds.
Ball is stolen away by Montoya. Sartans are on the break. Calb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Calb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Calb.
Go one-on-one, and this is good things usually have. Oh, great.
H.A. Rivera.
think the story in this one is the pressure defense that has turned up. They force another turnover. Calb's on the break.
Throw it down.
Calb puts it down.
So no update this morning on Damar Hamlin. I understand people being, I guess I don't. The upset that it took so long to call the game, and I just there's so much goes on. I'm going to read you this text I got. It says, maybe I'm weird, and we're talking about Damar Hamlin, the Buffalo Bills, who we all watch in front of us on Monday Night Football, go to cardiac arrest and is in critical condition in a hospital right now. This says, maybe I'm weird, but I'm so tired of hearing the people complain about the issue of the time it took to make the decision. No one was going to play the game, and everyone knew the severity. But as you know, logistically, there are several things that have to happen. The NFL has to understand the team's mentality, communicate with the Players Association, understand the ramification to postpone the game, and to be able to answer the right question when the media and everyone asks. At the same time, not take away from what's most important at that point, the players' health. Just wish people would stop being upset about why it took so long to make the decision to suspend the game. I think we all knew at some point we were getting there, right? When they left the field, when we saw the emotion, I don't think the players were going to go on the field, with all due respect. If they just said, all right, let's go, we're going in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes, or an hour, I'm not sure the players were going back on that field, all right? Those are grown men that were going to make a decision anyway. They ultimately got to the right place. There's a lot. I mean, in retrospect, it's so easy to say there was a guy getting CPR, call it immediately. And there's, but then you're asking me, what about Cincinnati? How do they feel about if they don't play the game? When do you play the game? You're asking me about football questions. So there was a lot. They ultimately got to the right place. If it took 45 minutes to get there, 35 or whatever the time frame was, like this is a bang situation. It's easy to go back and look at it the next day. And they should have, and they should have, and they should have, and they should have. Well, if there's something that, to me, that was done, that happened the right way, it's that they didn't play the game. And if it didn't happen quickly enough for you, I guess, I'm sorry. But sometimes there's no one to blame, right? Sometimes stuff happens and it's not someone's fault. And I know we always have to blame somebody and get angry at something. I don't know, man. Maybe my emotion is still raw after watching a young man damn near die in front of my eyes.
So Kevin Clark, he's a writer for The Ringer. I just ran across his story, and this is his opening paragraph. Yeah. And it's really good to sum up kind of how we should be talking about this, what we should be thinking about. He said, only 3 things matter right now. 1, the health of Hamlin and his ability to lead a normal life. 2, the mental and emotional well-being of Hamlin's family, friends, and teammates who witnessed something so traumatic. And 3, that whatever happened to Hamlin is thoroughly investigated, and we never have to go through this ever again. And I thought there's kind of just a really good reset to all this, because today is going to get crazy.
Yeah, it is.
You're going to get people guessing even more about what happened. This should have happened. They should have done that. They should have did this. And the focus comes back to that man, that his family, and everyone that was on the field to witness that.
How are you going to achieve number 3?
The whole never have to go through this again.
Yeah, how are you going to achieve that?
But I don't think you can. Okay. Just because it's life and
just want to make sure I'm not missing something.
Medical conditions come out of everywhere. But I think just to the point of, was there an undiagnosed heart condition, things like that?
Right.
Or was it one of the freakiest things we'll ever see happen
what
on the field?
What does bleep happen?
The timing of it.
So we've seen in boxing a guy get hit in the right spot, right on the heart, right? I mean, sometimes stuff happens.
Yes. I think that's fair. But I think, too, it's anything from the unknown, still head injuries in this game to heart things. It's, you think you can be prepared for anything, but you're just not. To your point, stuff happens.
Yeah. Edward, good morning.
Hey, good morning. As always, Jeff and JJ, you do a great job navigating through these situations that occur, letting people speak their mind, give their perspective, and there's a gentleness that you guys use that's really, really good. So thank you for that. Right away last night, I texted on our text thread, and I said the NFL needs to cancel this game immediately. The reason I say that is because I did experience something similar in nature. It wasn't in front of millions of people on television, but I was a director of the intramural department when I was in college. And there was a basketball game going on. There was multiple basketball games going on the court. They'd split them up. But a young 19-year-old man, very healthy, was in a game, and he checked himself out, went directly to the bench, and slumped over and passed away. Now, we're all hoping the best for this gentleman that plays for the Bills, and I think hopefully he makes a full recovery. This 19-year-old gentleman, and this is 30 years ago, slumped over. So when you see in front of you a person who's lively and active, and they die minutes later right in front of you, we had kids that were working for us, and this is 30 years ago, making $5, $6 an hour, basketball officials, people that were training to be EMTs that were very good at their job, that responded, the staff that was there. People were stunned, and there was immediate grief and shock, and they didn't know what to do. I'm just trying to illustrate what I personally saw, and I thought to myself, with the NFL, you saw the grief in the players, the shock. People were crying. They didn't know what to think. And I think the NFL, there's no precedence. There is no business process they have, no template they follow for something like this. I think the official's job is to officiate the game and keep things going. So in absence of information, they were just trying to do their job as you compartmentalize this. There was communication with the league offices. I think the coaches demonstrated a lot of leadership because as a coach, as a CEO of an organization, your job is to have the pulse. One of your jobs is to have the pulse of the organization and your team and your players. And I think the Bills and Cincinnati, particularly Cincinnati's coach, he read the room, he read the environment, he read the pulse of what was going on, and he demonstrated good leadership, and that was amazing. So now we have a sample set, we have a data point, right, that says, hey, if this happens, what protocol do we follow? So you're right, Jeff. It's hard to remove emotion from something like this, but once you do and you have more clarity, then you can go back and, for JJ's point, have a learning moment and say, how can we prevent this from happening again as best we can? This is all probability. It's a vicious sport. These guys are tremendous athletes. Probability-wise, I remember Hank Gathers. I remember Reggie Lewis from the Boston Celtics had an episode. We can go down the list, and that episode that happened to me personally 30 years ago, they had to bring grief counselors in post that event just to talk to people to help them kind of navigate through their situation. So that's my perspective. I think the NFL's done a good job, and they will continue to do a good job. And it's not perfect; it'll evolve, and they'll get better. Anyway, I appreciate it's kind of a long-winded story, but I thought it would be beneficial for people that are listening. Have a delightful day.
See you. Right. We're here for you if you want to talk about it. I think something like that, just kind of, I know I tend to look at it sometimes through the eyes of my 16-year-old, right? And she was going back over to her mom's, and she stayed, and we literally sat there and stared at the TV for 45 minutes. She's like, well, what do I tell my mom about, why I'm coming back late? I'm like, tell her what happened. Right? And she's like, well, what do I say? We were watching the game. No, babe, you can tell her what happened. She was hit by it, right? We're all watching a man cling to life in front of us and watching grown men cry on a football field in front of millions of people as one 24-year-old, in shape, by every account, brilliant, bright young man fights for his life. So if you want to talk about the emotion of it, you can. If you want to be angry, look, I'm not going to get mad at you for being angry. I'm not there, but if you are, that's cool. We're here for you, 505-246-0610. That's what this forum's about, to have these discussions. And we may not agree on everything today, like any other day, but if you want to talk about what we saw last night, and what does it mean? And if you even want to talk about what do you do, like I think it was Tony who said, you got to make up the game, because if you're Cincinnati in a week from now, you don't get the number one seed because of that. How you feeling? Man, I don't know how you're feeling, man. How are you feeling? I don't know.
Still a weirdness to it because of knowing that we're moving on. Like, the NFL's not canceling the season.
Well, no.
And we're going through all these things about reset and this in the moment, you know what you're putting out there, yada, yada, yada. No one expects this.
I'll tell you this.
Like, no one expects to have to be resuscitated on a football field.
I'll tell you, you're going to feel a lot different if DeMar Hamlin is sitting in a suite watching the game, or you know DeMar Hamlin's sitting up watching football, or speaking with his mom. Right? You're going to feel a whole lot more relief. Now, it's not going to take away any of these emotions any of us had. And in 40 years from now or 50 years from now, if it happens again and you're Adolph calling in and saying, I remember back in 2023 when a young man named DeMar Hamlin fell on a football field, right? And let's hope it's once every 50 years, not more than that. I mean, I'd hope doesn't happen again. But I think we all know better than that, right? But we're here. If you want to talk about it, look, go ahead. Do you want to open it up a little bit? Where do you want to go? I know I don't love producing the show on the air, but are you guys, do you want to stay here, or do you want to open up to Lobo basketball tonight? Is the only undefeated team in America? Do you want to open up to Purdue's rough day, getting beat 63-7 in football and losing at home in basketball to Rutgers? Do you want to talk about the Cotton Bowl? You want to talk about Donovan Mitchell going for 71 and Clay going for 54 last night in the NBA? We'll open it up. If you want to talk about DeMar Hamlin, and I'll bring it up a few more times. If we get an update, we will. But we got a lot of thoughts out today. That's where you want to go. Look, we can do this all day. Understand? Okay? 505-246. And I know that's not the way I'm supposed to dictate where this goes, and I think normally we do. We're going to get into Lobo basketball tonight. They play Fresno State as the only undefeated team in America. They did move up in the polls. We'll get there. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services.
All right, we'll update you on Damar Hamlin when we get updates on Damar Hamlin. The Bills say he suffered cardiac arrest and is in a Cincinnati hospital in critical condition this morning. Game was suspended. If you want to talk about when they're going to make it up, if they're going to make it up, it's all speculation right now. I've seen nothing out of the NFL on that. Have you?
No.
Okay. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Lobos play tonight. Lobos are now the only undefeated men's basketball team in America. They moved up just one spot in the poll yesterday to number 21. Tops ranked and undefeated Purdue lost at home last night at West Lafayette, 65-64 to Rutgers. So at 14-0, New Mexico is the lone. Everybody loves that map, right? That undefeated map with the Lobo logo on it of America. The only one in the country. They'll be at Fresno tonight. This is an interesting game in Fresno State because Fresno State's always athletic. It's always been a interesting place to go play at the Save Mart Center. And now everybody wants to be the one to knock off that last undefeated.
I'm expecting a very similar game to what we saw on Saturday at Wyoming. In an undermanned Cowboys team, their best players out. They face some adversity, and yet they still rise up and push the Lobos to the very end. Fresno State's going to come out and give the Lobos their best shot in this game because their style of play, they want to slow it down. They're only scoring 60 points per game, giving up 61 points per game. So they want to keep it slow. They want to keep it as tight as possible and try to make a run at it. And you saw Utah State in that game in Logan over the week in the last game Fresno State played. They were able to pull away, hitting some three-point shots in the second half, and it feels like that's going to be the same thing we see from the Lobos. It might be tight for a while, and then you can get the guards going, pull away, and try to take this at the end.
I think that's fair. This will be an interesting one. You get this game tonight and then back home, and yesterday UNM announced that the pit is sold out. Sold out for Saturday's game against UNLV. Did you wait too long or what? Is that what that looks for?
Yes.
All right. They're sold out. I'm looking on StubHub right now. I see some chairs, chair backs for $81, bench tickets for $108. Section P, row 37, right, which is down low. That's over by the in the southwest corner, $135 a piece on StubHub. Okay.
Let's go.
The secondary market. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go.
It's been a minute, huh? It's been a minute, and it's really cool to see this town popping about Lobo basketball. It is. It's. I told you this a few weeks ago. There's a familiarity to it. It's kind of a nice familiarity to it, and I mean, ride it, right? Ride it because it's fun. It's really fun. My mind's still on this whole DeMar Hamlin thing. I'm trying to get back into the hoop stuff, and so
they're playing a game tonight.
Yeah,
they're not canceling.
Look,
everything.
I know.
And so it's hard to adjust from what we're having the conversation about athletes, the reality, what we all witnessed, and then by the way, we're going to just be watching more guys get right back out there today.
Yeah, we are. Can we talk about bowl games yesterday? Okay, let me ask you this. Somebody said this to me, and I'm having a problem arguing. Is this the best bowl season? Games, like game after game after game. Never mind LSU beating Purdue 63-7. If you go down and look at the games, by the way, did you hear the New Mexico Bowl shot at halftime of the Rose Bowl? It was tied at halftime, and Chris Fowler comes back, and they said, we're getting ready to start the second half of the Rose Bowl, 14-14. This is just the second game in bowl season to be tied at halftime. You remember the New Mexico Bowl, BYU and SMU. Got a little shout out for I thought that was cool. But if you just go back down the scores and bowl season scores, like the games were good.
They've been really good.
The games were good.
And this weekend was a little peak that don't be scared. The 12-team college football playoff, because it's the first round games, like Tulane USC could have been a first round playoff game, and it would still been bonkers and have that type of intensity. But just to think
would have
the team
been a
would
different
be
intensity
moving on in the playoff.
Yeah.
Like you'll get games that they'll be awesome. It'll work out. But yes, yesterday, watching the end of Mississippi State, Illinois, just a grinded out game-winning field goal for Mississippi State, winning 13-10.
They won. They won. They won 19-10 because they covered. They covered on the pitch around and the
pitchy woo woo that they returned.
Pitchy score and that covered.
Right.
It was like 3.5 or 4.5, and that covered for him.
At the very end,
yes,
runs it back.
It was 19-10. And how I'm stoked. I sent Zach a note, and he responded. He's like, "Yeah, the head coach wasn't very good, but I'm like, yeah, you know what? The head coach got his win. I was stoked for that for Zach Arnett yesterday." The Cotton Bowl, Tulane win or SC lose?
Tulane won that game.
SC lost that game. SC steps out of bounds at the 1 yard line on a kickoff. Then they take the safety, and they have no defense. Like, okay, you always tell me there's a percentage both ways. That was 80-20.
That's fair.
Collapse.
That's fair. I thought Tulane just also made unbelievable big plays.
They did. And it's because SC's defense is garbage, as we saw in the Pac-12 championship game. And they have that game won. But, I mean, to step out at the 1 yard line on a kickoff, like, I'm going to field this ball right here? Are you kidding me? You let that ball drop. It either goes out of bounds or goes to the end zone. Right?
And that was a Willie Fritz, Tulane head coach, talked about after the game. He said they were torn. Do they just go onside kick here? Do they kick it? And they tried to do that. Kick it in an area that makes
somebody make a decision.
The return man make a decision, and he made the wrong decision.
Wrong decision. And then they hand off 5 yards deep, and they get sacked in the end zone. And then I give it to Tulane. Like I'm always stoked when the Group of 5 team wins.
With the catch, that the game-winning touchdown catch because the USC's defender arm kept the ball from hitting
the ground. It was insane. It was insane. Crazy. That game was great. The Rose Bowl was good. Mississippi State, I was stoked for Zach, though. And it was a grinded-out game. The fact that they wore the pirate on their helmet, I thought was cool. It was, the bowl season's been terrific. Sherman, you want to talk about your Lobos? What's up?
Hey, it's being undefeated. Well, first of all, we'll celebrate. But, being undefeated creates a weird set of emotions, right? It's one thing to believe that we're going to win because we're a better team. It's another set of emotions when you're in a game with the feeling of, we can't lose because then we'd no longer be undefeated.
You're going to lose something.
Isn't it strange how emotions work in athletics?
Yeah, but it's in knowing that at some point you're going to lose a game, right? I mean, is
sure.
it okay to say? Yeah, right. So
I'm thrilled Patino's there because he brings a level of calmness and stability that's really has worked extremely well.
Yep. No, but look, Richard's at this point, I mean, is he your leading candidate for National Coach of the Year?
No question. Right. We're not, how do I say this? Our league is not in the top 5 leagues, which kind of goes against him for National Coach of the Year.
But your league is pretty good right now. Your league's got, I think, 5 teams in the top 60. Yeah. Your league's pretty good right now. And I think Wyoming's going to get better as they get healthier. San Diego State and New Mexico are recognized at the top. UNLV's good. Look what San Jose State's doing. Like, your league is not a garbage league.
And Fresno plays a tough game at home.
Always do.
Tell you, they play tough.
Always do.
I got a little bit. Saturday's game, the refs called it so tight, but they called it tight both directions. So I thought it was kind of fair, but it was a little bit too tight for basketball.
Yeah, I thought it was until the very end, and then maybe you got away with one, but that was good. All right, enjoy tonight. We'll talk to you during the week.
All right,
See
enjoy.
You.
Talk to you. Bye.
See you. Sherman called at 505-246-0610. I don't know. Do you feel like is it a double-edged sword to be undefeated?
There's a pressure that
you're going to lose
comes with it. Like, if they happen to lose tonight, you might be able to get yourself a ticket Saturday.
Ooh, you think those tickets become more available?
I hope not. I hope people aren't like that.
I don't think
I always wish.
Dulls if you lose tonight. If it doesn't dull Saturday.
No, not at all.
All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Lobos play tonight. We can get in on that. I'll continue to watch for any updates on DeMar Hamlin. You can have that conversation as well as we have all morning. And I'll ask you that question. I mean, was this the best bowl season? Game after game after game after game after game. Oh, Jeff, did you see LSU beat Purdue 63-7? Yeah, I got it. I got it. 1 out of every 5 might have not been close, but they were. I mean, good game, 1 possession game. After 1 possession. The Cotton Bowl was terrific last night. Cotton Bowl was unreal. So you can get in at 505-246-0610. Hey, with the new year typically comes new resolutions, and those resolutions tend to fade away in weeks. How about making a resolution that you can actually keep and will make you feel better and look better for a long, long time? Schedule an appointment with NuMale. Guys, NuMale helps with things like depression, weight gain, even erectile dysfunction. And for men and ladies who are dealing with hair loss, NuMale has state-of-the-art options to help. Call NuMale at 505-652-1688 or online at NuMale, NuMale.com. Their professionals will walk you through the options. Then you pick what's best for you to regrow hair. Platelet-rich plasma hair therapy that uses your own platelets to stimulate stem cells deep in your hair follicle to stop hair loss, regrow hair. They have an FDA-cleared clinical hair restoration laser proven to regrow hair. NeoGraft hair transplants, producing natural-looking results in less than a week with no linear scarring. Men, ladies, call NuMale. The number's 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688, or online at NuMale.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-24.
All right, latest I see on Damar Hamlin, Buffalo Bills safety, who had cardiac arrest on the field yesterday after a collision, making a tackle on Cincinnati's T. Higgins. He's still in the hospital, critical condition. There's no status as of now on the game itself, when or if they are going to try to play this game. I want to put this into perspective too. And look, we've opened it up. If you want to talk global basketball tonight, they play Fresno State. Actually, let me read this to you because we were just talking about that. Mud says on the text line, "Wow, why does everyone want the Lobos to lose? When they lose, you can celebrate?" ? Jeez. What? I always tell you, it's
we're
amazing.
going to throw a parade.
It's amazing what you hear. Did anybody say they want the Lobos to lose? Sherman said, you have these emotions, you don't want to lose. I said they will probably lose some. They're going to lose a game somewhere. Did I say I want them to lose? Nobody wants them to lose, Mud. One team is there. Well, let me put it this way: no team has gone undefeated through a basketball season since 1976. So, is it possible? 100% possible. 100% is a high percentage. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? I would tell you. Would you bet your mortgage that the Lobos are going to lose a game somewhere along the way?
Yes.
That's all. Nobody said they want the Lobos to lose. I don't think. Did you hear that? Okay. Just want to make sure. Nobody's going to celebrate. That's not fair. Somebody will celebrate. Right? Somebody will celebrate. All right. So Troy Vincent, the NFL Executive Vice President for Operations, talked about the process and what went through. He said that no coach, no player talked about resuming the game. Quote, it was really about DeMar. Look, I've never seen anything like it. So immediately my player hat went on, he said. Okay. This whole 5 minute, and I know this is where everybody got really confused, JJ. And if there was a lapse, it feels to me the lapse was in communicating to the national television broadcast, getting word to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, right? Because they just felt flummoxed to me.
Yeah.
They were in shock, as we all were, and everybody kept going back to them for updates, and they had none. And to their credit, they didn't speculate, and I appreciate that. And the NFL was feeding them no information, evidently. So there was this whole proposed 5 minute warm-up period, right? That was mentioned on the broadcast. According to Troy Vincent, quote, I'm not sure where that came from. Frankly, there was no time period for the players to get warmed up. Frankly, the only thing we asked was that referee Sean Smith communicate with both coaches to make sure they had the proper time inside the locker room to discuss what they felt was best. So I'm not sure where that came from, 5 minute warm-ups. Never crossed my mind personally, and I was the one, and I'm not trying to be selfish, but the one that was communicating with the commissioner. We never, frankly, it never crossed our minds to resume play. That's ridiculous. That's insensitive, and that's not a place that we should ever be in, end quote. I think as we all watched, look, there was a time period, and I know some of you called this morning and you've been upset about the time that it took to officially announce it. By the way, it was announced to the players well before it was announced to you and I, because we saw the equipment guys clearing the sidelines, right?
Yeah.
So whatever the timeline was, before it was officially announced, those guys knew they weren't playing football again. I think those guys all knew on the field when they were watching CPR administered to one of the players that they weren't playing football again that night. The NFL evidently was listening through the referees' microphones as the ref spoke with both head coaches. Troy Vincent, quote, it was fluid and things were changing by the minute. Emotions were extremely high. It was a very volatile situation, end quote. And then Troy Vincent was asked about the two head coaches, Zach Taylor of Cincinnati, Sean McDermott of Buffalo. Quote, I commend both of those coaches. It's a tough situation to go back in the locker room and look at 53 men and try to calm people down. It was obvious on the phone the emotions were extremely high. It was a very volatile situation. The coaches led that locker room, end quote. I thought the coaches, from what we were able to see, what we were able to judge sitting on our couch, it seemed like you had two men leading men out there. You had two leaders who were obviously, and especially the Bills, Sean McDermott, obviously emotional. But you had two men who were leaders out there and took charge of that situation. If it didn't happen quick enough for you, like, I'm going to tell you, it happened quicker than you think it did. And ultimately, they got to the right place.
It's a situation where you have to make sure that all the medical people can do what they have to on the field, you can get them safely out of the stadium, and then you finalize that process of postponing.
Yeah, and what does it mean, man? I mean, there's so much that it means. And you guys, some of you have been talking about football. What does it mean football-wise? Well, you got a problem. Well, you got to make up that game, don't you? I don't know, do you? I mean, ideally, you want to make up that game. Do you have to? Both these teams are in the playoffs. Well, what about the number one seed and it's a bye? I got it. And there's a lot of money and there's people's livelihoods. I get it. And they'll figure that out. But if the reason a game is lost on the schedule is because there was a young man fighting for his life on the field and you didn't finish that game, deal with it. It's imperfect. It's unfortunate that you didn't play the football game. Let's hope DeMar Hamlin is alive and can live a life. I mean, I don't know what more to say. If you've ever been in an operation of anything, things don't happen in a vacuum. Jerry tells us that all the time, right? We're going to ask him, well, look, is this team going to get in the NCAA tournament? Well, it's in a vacuum. Okay. You have that much going on that quickly, and the stakes are that high, and there's no precedent, and there's no template. I don't know. From where I said, I thought they handled it pretty well. I know we always want to be mad. We always want to blame. Everybody wants to be angry. Guys, I'm not sure there's something to be angry about other than a young man fighting for his life.
And that's the thing to be thinking about right now. Is what is the outcome going to be for that man and his family?
So, all right, 505-246-0610. I got some emails. Rod said same thing happened here in 2019, Jefferson. Remember after the Sam Houston State game, Bob Davie was eased and waned off. And the next week, Stigatua Taylor led the Lobo football team to South Bend. Yeah, Bob Davie had an incident in the locker room. I got all kinds of stuff in here. I didn't know this. Todd said BV stole the Let's Ask A. Marie segment. Is that right? Jeff Brandon's doing a Let's Ask A. Marie knockoff as part of his Votes Notes segment.
Oh, yeah?
Gee, what's next? Him stealing the hoe from the OD? Is that what's going on? I mean, I don't know. He's
Let's Ask A. Marie.
Is that right? You know, you have your guy asking you all these questions because it's...
Like sports questions?
I don't know.
I don't know what they're talking about.
I thought you might.
Mm-mm.
Okay, because I don't. Yeah, I thought,
I mean, I talked to Brandon on air about a lot of things.
You talked to him? Why
Yeah, that's crazy.
You're allowed to talk to him?
He does. Sometimes he asks me questions.
All right. You don't have somebody calling you in.
Thanks for listening. That's what I'm going to say that.
How about that? Yeah. Thanks for knocking the numbers out. All right. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. When we come back, a dude went for 71, the most points in the NBA since Kobe scored his 81. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by State.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
Fresno, you'll hear that game over on News Radio KKOB. Who's your next ladies game?
Thursday nights in Wyoming.
You're going to, when do you go to Laramie?
Going to Laramie tomorrow afternoon.
Charter?
Probably need to bring a jet.
Yeah, no, bring 2. Charter?
Yeah.
Have you checked the weather in Laramie?
I've not checked the weather in Laramie.
I'll find it for
Assume
you.
it's going to be cold.
Yeah, no, I'll find it for you.
But there's a roof over the basketball court, so that helps.
Are you sure?
But it's still going to be chilly outside.
I promise that. Speech, good morning.
Hi, Jeff. I have a question. In 71, when Chuck Hughes died, did they stop the game?
No, they finished.
And like when Hank Gathers died, did they stop the game? And I think all this has started like when in '63 after Kennedy got shot. The NFL played that following Sunday, and Pete Rozelle said that was the worst thing I've ever done.
I know they stopped the game, or they continued the game when Chuck Hughes died. I don't know. The game was suspended indefinitely when Hank Gathers died. So they suspended that game. They didn't finish it.
Okay.
All right.
I just wondered. So, okay.
There you
Well,
go.
thank you.
All right, Speech. Yeah, we've come a long way in a lot of different things. I don't know that. I haven't heard anybody say it, and maybe it's because it would be such a dissenting opinion to say that they should have played the game. I saw Skip Bayless's tweet that just got. Did you see him getting roasted on Twitter yesterday?
Oh, he's got destroyed.
I mean, he's going to have problems. It was a pretty insensitive tweet, right? Have you seen anybody say that game should have happened?
No.
Now, I'm going to tell you that there's probably people who think it should have, but realize I better not say it publicly, right? But I haven't seen anybody tell me, no, that game needed to continue.
It didn't.
By the way, Thursday when you play in Laramie, Thursday, you going up Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be nice, dude. Partly sunny and breezy, a high of 30, low of 22.
Go.
And then you're getting out right after the game? Before the snow comes in on Friday?
Leaving Friday morning.
You're getting an easy Laradise trip. Easy. Hello, Ruben.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. My reason for calling is a great game Saturday against Wyoming. I wanted to ask you guys a question that Wyoming is for real. So we beat a really good team. Maldonado is probably number one. I mean, not number one. First round draft pick. I haven't seen all the other players, of course, but my question for calling is that I hope we learn something. We're going to meet them maybe 2 more times that we can stop Maldonado. Do you know? Is there a way to stopping him? Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ruben. I think Maldonado's nice. I don't think he's a first-round pick. Do you?
No. He's a good basketball player, and good basketball players are going to score buckets. And that's the decision you have to make as a defense. You know, is it a game where you want to let one guy go off, or you want to try to stop everyone else? And if you're worried about the Lobos, just look at the Colorado State game. They shut down Isaiah Stevens. You're not going to shut down good basketball players every single night. And so I'm not worried about the defense. Like, Wyoming overcame a ton of things in that moment. Now, you can watch that game and say, oh, Wyoming, they're pretty good. They're 5-9, man. 0-2. Like, that's a bad loss if you take it now, if you take it later in the season. Graham Ike, there's talks that he's not even going to come back this season because it sounds like he might have re-injured his injury, trying to come back from that. And so in the moment, man, they played their guts out.
This was going to be a big year for them, too.
Yeah.
Maldonado and Ike back. This was going to be a big year for Jeff Linder and that whole program.
But you look at the net, they're 207.
Yeah, so
Kim Palm 132.
That would be a bad loss. That would be a bad loss. Do you have all the net rankings for the teams?
In the Mountain West?
Mountain West, yeah.
Yes, I
is
do.
that what that list is? So go down that real quick, because Wyoming at the bottom?
Wyoming is 207.
Is that the bottom?
The bottom.
That's the lowest
bottom.
ranked net, and you beat them by 1 point on the road. And then Fresno State's next from the bottom at 202. So this would be a bad loss tonight.
Yes.
Interesting. All right, go through those real quick.
Well, and I like to, as we'll give you the net rankings, I think the Ken Palm rankings are a good balance to that. But we'll start the net rankings. New Mexico, 18. San Diego State, 22. Utah State, 23. Nevada, 53. Boise State, 55. UNLV, 67.
So that's 7 in the top 70?
Yeah. San Jose State, 96. Top 100 Spartans. CSU, 109. Air Force, 157. Fresno State, 202. Wyoming, 207.
Yeah, that's something.
And so if you look at it's kind of the Kim Palm balance to it, the metrics with it, highest rated team, San Diego State at 24. Utah State at 36, UNM 57.
Yeah, and I don't know that I understand that discrepancy.
Their strength of schedule is not good overall. And so that kind of weighs them down a little bit in the Kim Palm, but it will pick up when you get a chance to play San Diego State, Utah State, Boise State, which are top 65 teams in the Kim Palm.
All right. Phones are ringing at 505-246-0610. You can get in on that. You can get in on DeMar Hamlin. everything you saw last night. Donovan Mitchell going for 71 points last night. The Cavaliers needed overtime to win. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, Marie, and Adrian. Glad you're with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
7 o'clock in the morning. 7 a.m. where have you been? 7 a.m. where is your brother?
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Weird morning and interesting conversation this morning as we await any further word on the condition of Damar Hamlin, Buffalo Bills safety who went into cardiac arrest on the football field on Monday Night Football last night in Cincinnati. The game was suspended. We've talked about other incidences. Terry said when Hank Gathers died, they canceled the whole conference tournament. Gave Loyola Marymount the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Talked global basketball and mentioned how no team has gone undefeated since the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers. Mud ass, I thought UNLV went undefeated in the 90s. They did through the regular season and then lost in the championship game to Duke. Wichita State went undefeated through the regular season a few years ago.
And they got the first round matchup against Kentucky.
Right.
That was the NCAA tournament game. There was like a down Kentucky team and got caught.
Didn't they lose in the round of the second game?
Yeah.
I think they were, if I'm not mistaken, they were an 8 seed. No, they were a top 2 seed. They were top, maybe even a top seed overall. Number one, not overall, but number 1 seed. But they lost, didn't get out of the first weekend. So there's a lot there. 505-246-0610, but we can get into global basketball tonight. This is, so two things happened yesterday that on a normal day would be, oh my goodness. Klay Thompson went for 54 last night. 54 in the Warriors win over the Hawks. That's buried about 17th on the ledger today, right?
Most points he scored since these severe injuries he suffered.
54.
Yeah.
We're watching dudes go for 40 like it's nothing, by the way. Like 40 is the new 30 in the NBA. We're watching guys go for 40 on a regular basis. Donovan Mitchell scored 71 points last night. Most by a player in the NBA in 17 years. Cavs needed it all. They were down 21 to the Bulls. They won 145-134 in overtime. Most points scored in an NBA game since Kobe scored 81 back in 2006. Of course, Wilt has the top mark at 100. Do you watch? I mean, I didn't. When I watched what happened with Damar Hamlin, I was like, I didn't know that there was anything else going on in sports. I didn't. I'm not going to lie. Did you see any of this?
I watched the end of the Warriors Hawks game.
Did you?
Yes.
And evidently that was terrific.
Yes. How they sent it in overtime. Atlanta misses 3 straight defensive rebounds. Top of the key, White Dante there, 0.6 of a second left. DiVincenzo 4-3, overtime.
54 by Clay. But yeah, 71's nuts. 71 points.
Did I say Donovan Mitchell last week, Marie, when we were talking about our MVP candidates?
You sure did.
He was one of my dark horse MVP candidates last week, and that helps out a little bit, dropping 71 points.
71 is the 6th highest total ever in the NBA.
Insane.
Now, Wilt had 100. Kobe had 81. And then you go down the list, and you're like, okay, what's the rest of the list? Do you know what like the list is for most points ever scored in an NBA game after Wilt and Kobe?
I don't.
Okay. It gets kind of weird. So Wilt has 100 back in 1962. Kobe scored his 81 in 2006. Wilt, 78 points. David Thompson, the former Nugget great, 73. Wilt scored 73 twice and 72 once. And then Donovan Mitchell, David Robinson, and Elgin Baylor all scored 71. So there's 181, 78, 73, 72, 71. And Wilt is on that list 5 times. That's how dominant that. Like when we want to talk about the most dominant player, now you can tell it was a different game, Jeff, and he was a different guy, and all that's right. But if you ever want to tell me who the most dominant player in the NBA ever was, there really shouldn't be a conversation. Now, if we want to have a conversation about the best ever, no, I don't want to do that today. I don't. I really don't. But is there an argument about most dominant of their era?
When you look at the list,
right?
The performances.
Well, and he didn't win championships, right? He won the one. Bill Russell always got in his way of that. But, I mean, just dominant by numbers? I mean, there's part of me that wishes I would have seen Wilt play a little bit because it sounds like a man playing a boy's game, doesn't it?
It does.
I started looking at some of the numbers and the rebounding numbers, but yeah.
Just sitting there with a piece of paper, 100.
100.
Got 100.
And it happened in Hershey, PA, not even on their real place.
Not in a real place.
No, I mean, like, they played a game.
It happened in that chocolate town.
Yeah. We're going to go play in some gym somewhere and not even have TV there. Oh, dude,
Was it an MTE? Like what?
Might have been. I mean, for all I know. The hell. Jack sent me an email at jeff@sportsanimалabq.com. It says, reply to Ruben, Jeff, Wyoming sucks. Ike was still in a boot. Reynolds played 8 minutes, Maldonado 27, and those are their three best players. Pokes finished that contest with deep bench guys. It's from Jack. I don't know if they suck. They are injured, and all of that is true. Reynolds got hurt. He got elbowed in the head. He went down, and Maldonado was in foul trouble and eventually fouled out. Those are their three best players. I don't know that they suck. They are struggling, certainly. And it would be a bad loss simply because of the metrics. Simply because of the numbers that you laid out right there. Are the Lobos in the NCAA tournament? Like, how badly, and I hate asking this question, because I don't think Lobos are going to fade. I think Lobos are real. Now, I think they'll lose a game somewhere. I don't think they're going undefeated. But let's say they lose 5 games. How many play, 18 or 20? In conference.
In conference, I think it's 18.
So let's say you go 13-5, right? So that would be 25-5, and you get to Friday, so you're 26-6. Are you in?
Leaning, yes.
Depending on who they lose to, right? Those losses.
There could be a little element of it. It would still be. I don't know if they.
So
don't split with San Diego.
They
State.
have to beat San Diego
to
State
get
once.
one of those games.
Or UNLV. Is UNLV the next team? Who's the next team after San Diego State on your list? UNLV or Utah State?
Utah State
so they've got to
be good.
And they got to get one of those on the road, don't they?
Like winning at Utah State would be nice.
Is Nevada the fourth team on your list? Is that what I'm looking at upside
Well,
down?
net rankings, yeah. Behind New Mexico in the net, it's the Aztecs, Utah State, Nevada.
And Nevada's 33?
53.
53. He's doing a hell of a job this year, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, they were an afterthought. They were a flat-out afterthought.
So San Diego State, Utah State, Boise State.
So it depends who you lose to.
Like Nevada are quality games.
You can't lose tonight.
You can't.
Right? If you're going to lose, let's say 4 games, but you've got to win it because you don't your best win is St. Mary's right now, right?
Yes, that's correct. St. Mary's is still very highly rated.
They scheduled that Oral Roberts game. I don't know what
Oral Roberts right now. Look at KenPom 73, net ranking 43. So that's
a really nice game.
A quad 2 win if you beat them at home.
If you beat them at home. Where's New Mexico State? Low 180s, like after their 2 losses. By the way, we've not had that conversation, have we? I mean, Aggie fan, what on earth? Right? Got a little problem there. You're down to 3 days in Vegas, and it might be 3 this year because you're not going to get that bye.
So New Mexico State is 119.
119,
that's
not horrible. All right, not horrible. But they are 7-7, which is just not what you thought. And they lose those 2 games at home. They are on the road. What day is today? The 2nd? So on Thursday. Didn't they lose to Stephen F. Austin last year?
First time since 2010 they lost back-to-back home games.
So they're at Stephen F. Austin on the 4th, and then they're home for Cal Baptist. It's not that easy, man. It's not that easy. They lose 75-62 to Sam Houston. Before that, Southern Utah, that team Lobos beat. And that was a decent Southern Utah team that we saw, right? Remember the Lobos beat them. They got to figure that thing out quickly down in Cruces.
130 KenPom.
130 Ken Palm.
for the Aggies.
What are the Lobos Ken Palm? 50 something you said?
57. Some of that is the non-conference strength schedule. Wasn't great. And so, but you factored in the other numbers, like adjusted offense, adjusted defense, solid for the Lobos. And you look at it, it's you want to get one against San Diego State, get one against Utah State. There are good games that will definitely elevate the numbers for the Lobos.
You're in San Diego a week from Saturday, the 14th. That's a big game. That's it.
Think about the stretch, though, too, when you look at it's, Fresno State tonight, road game, but then it's UNLV or Roberts, 7th, 9th, at home at San Diego State. And then
when's the Oral Roberts game?
The 9th.
So that's after the UNLV game. Yeah. So it'll be Monday?
Yes.
And then you've got the rest of that week off before you go to San Diego. Come home for San Jose State, Boise State. Yeah, no, there's a stretch coming up now.
This is the Mountain West. There's opportunities. The league did a good job, numbers-wise, overall, to take in quality net and Ken Palm rankings into league play. So there's opportunities to build your resume, and then there's also opportunities where you can end up like UNLV losing at San Jose State. That can happen. You could be the Lobos a whistle away from losing in Laramie.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm looking at the San Jose State loss, and I'm like, is that a horrible loss? As much as
for
you
UNLV, it is. Like for the top teams in this league.
But where they net?
They're top 100 net right now.
Yeah. So it's not horrible. I mean, it's a tough loss. Look, San Jose State's going to win a few more of those games. Yeah. They may beat New Mexico up on Ninja Turtle.
But when you look at the stretches,
yeah,
because for them, they went from San Jose State right in the Aztecs, and are sitting 0-2.
Yeah, yeah, and they're coming in the pit on who do they get tonight or this week? Because I'll tell you, because then they're going to come in here, and they got a tough one on Saturday. So UNLV is going to get. They don't play tonight. They'll play, I think, tomorrow. Nope, they're off till New Mexico. So they're 0-2. Look at their start, man. They got to come here and they get Boise State at home. Now they have the whole week off before they come in here.
That's a long time.
So a whole week's a long time. Yeah. Yeah. All right. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Emails. Jeff at sportsanimallabq.com, JJ at sportsanimallabq.com. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks. You can watch our show on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, or on Comcast Channel 26 throughout the state of New Mexico. When we come back, I'll get you any updates I got on DeMar Hamlin. Look for those. Lobos go to Fresno tonight. Shai Magruder got honored as well. JJ can tell you about that as well, as the ladies are getting set to go to Laramie, and so is JJ. All right. New year. Make your vehicle look new. Make your vehicle smell new. You don't have to get a new car to have that new car feel. Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing and have them come out and detail your vehicle. What is a detailing? Well, that's what the auto dealerships do when they put cars out on the lot. They detail it inside, outside, under the hood, under the seats, around the rims and tires. It looks like it, smells like it, is brand new. And that's what they do. They come to you wherever it's convenient for you. Whenever it's convenient for you, they will come out and detail your vehicle. Ask them also about ceramic coating, because with this winter weather that we're getting, this is the best way to protect your vehicle's paint. They offer a lifetime warranty on the ceramic coating, and they apply it by hand. On the Spot Automotive Detailing is a great gift. Valentine's Day is coming up. You got birthdays coming up. Think about On the Spot Automotive Detailing when you're thinking about gifts. They offer a 10% discount to our military as well. Call today. Schedule your appointment at 505-859-2859. 505-859-2859 or online at otsdetailing.com.
Young, here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudahl with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask. Well, first.
Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Bardella.
Montez. Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
And Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe playing zone right now.
Fight's 3 is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
A perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big 3! Buried in by Dylan McCleskey.
Trifectas of her own. Fires it off down low. Campos off the glass, and there it is.
Quick this shot, another shot up in 5 seconds. Transition 3 is up, and it hit at the buzzer by Ian Hoingsberg. Picture perfect execution, ball it hit the ground in 5 seconds.
Ball is stolen away by Montoya. Sartans are on the break. Calb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Calb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Calb.
Go one-on-one, and this is good things usually have. Oh, great.
H.A. Rivera. I think the story in this one is the pressure defense that has turned up. They force another turnover. Calb's on the break.
Throw it down.
Calb puts it down. Brian Calb with the dunk in transition.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. Clark's Pet
FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
All right, call your shot. Lobos in Fresno tonight. It is a late start over on News Radio KKOB. Lobos, the only undefeated team in America as we open up play on the, what is it today? What's today, the 3rd? Yeah. How do I lose track of that? We worked yesterday, and it's the 3rd. It's your day back at work. Fresno State 5-8, 1-1 in Mountain West play. They had the big victory over over Wyoming, lost to Utah State. Who has Fresno State played? Who have they beaten? Is there a common opponent? They had common opponent is San Francisco. Lobos beat San Francisco. Remember in Vegas, San Francisco beat Fresno State 67-60. I think that's the only common opponent they have outside of Wyoming. And again, Wyoming is where the Lobos won by 1 point the other night, and Wyoming dropped it in Fresno 58-53 to open up conference play. Save Mart Center, interesting spot, right, JJ? I mean, was I wrong when I told you it's kind of like a smaller NBA arena feel?
Yeah, and usually empty, so it's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah,
it's one of those kind of a big arena feel with not a lot of energy. So you got to get yourself ready to go.
This is an interesting league like that because you go into 3 places in this league that you know will always have the energy. Pitt, Viejas, and Utah State. Right? You go for men's basketball. You go into 3 places in this league that you know every time you go out, there's going to be atmosphere. There's a few places that, depending on the team and the home team and who the opponent is, you can have really good energy. And that's Colorado State, UNLV, Nevada can have that. And then there's places that you go, and I guess Boise State, but I think that's more of an anomaly. And Wyoming on a weekend when they're playing well.
Yes.
Not on a Tuesday night when there's bad weather and you got to drive to Laramie. And then there's places that you know you're probably going to go in and it's going to be dead. And that's Air Force, that's San Jose State, and that's Fresno State. And while there's great atmospheres in this league, there's some dull ones. Now, it doesn't make it easy. Look, Clune Arena in Colorado Springs, Air Force's place, over the years has been a nightmare for San Diego State, for New Mexico.
There's a name for it, Jeff.
The Clune Gloom.
The Clune Gloom.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to have great, insane, crazy fan base. Like it's been tough. Now, San Jose State and Fresno State have been relatively sterile, right? Fresno State's had athletes over the years. Fresno State's had good teams. Orlando Robinson's been really good. I don't know. Paul George was really good. Like you go through what they've got over the years. There's been some good players at Fresno State, guys who've given the Lobos trouble.
It's with anything. It's if you have something to show up for.
I think we're seeing
you'll
it
get
here.
the crowds,
right? Are we seeing it here?
We are seeing it here, and that's why it's really exciting. But there are a handful of good teams in the Mountain West, but 2 have the potential to be really good. I think it's San Diego State and New Mexico. And then look at Utah State. They were the team I was kind of slow to come around on, but the numbers love them. They keep winning games. You have to buy in. It's kind of same thing for Nevada, Boise State. That was a really good game the other night where Boise State, Nevada, oh man, I'm just blanking. It's the final shot was hit at the buzzer. I'm blanking just who hit it, but just like that's the type of games you're getting at the top of this league.
How did Utah State, and they've lost 2 of their last 5, Weber State and SMU? What's their best win? San Francisco? I'm looking through it, like who they beat Santa Clara, who's a nice team. They beat Oral Roberts. It's a good win. They beat San Francisco. Should I buy into Utah State?
That was the way I was feeling.
No, seriously. I know the numbers get it.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at, okay, they beat Washington State. It's a nice win.
Beat San Francisco by 18.
And the Lobos struggled with San Francisco. Lobos beat SMU by 21.
They
SMU
beat Oral
this
Roberts?
team. Yeah, and we haven't seen Oral Roberts yet.
It's a similar kind of non-conference to what we saw out in Mexico. And that's why
Santa Clara wins nice. Like to beat them 96-74, that's a good win. But we'll see. I don't know that I'm totally bought in on them yet. When we're all said and done,
I don't think a lot of people are.
This is a 3-team league or a 4-team league? I think New Mexico and San Diego State are going to get in.
Oof.
And then
the number 3.5.
Yeah, the number's 3.5, right? Who beats each other up? Now, if Utah State or Nevada and UNLV's already got 2 losses, so they're hurting themselves already. I'm looking at the top of the league. San Jose State? I mean, really? Okay, I'll listen to you. If they,
I think probably solid 3.
I think it's a 3-bid league. Yeah, I think New Mexico's in. I think San Diego State's in. I mean, barring something crazy. I mean, obviously, it's not a done deal yet, but barring something nuts. But can a 4th team
There's
get
opportunity.
in?
Boise State,
There's
Nevada.
A lot of opportunity. San Jose State.
Numbers.
What's San Jose State's net?
They're not an at-large team.
What's their net?
They're 96.
They're not an at-large team. There's no way.
I don't think
they beat San Diego State.
They would have to win.
What if they beat San Diego State and New Mexico, and their loss? Let's say they lose 6.
If
6 too many.
If San Jose in league,
then
it'd be a 10-loss team.
6 is too many. Yeah, it's too many. All right. So who else has got a shot? Nevada? I mean, Nevada's 12-3. They lost to Loyola. They lost to Oregon. They lost to Kansas State. They beat anybody? Not really. What's their best win? Pepperdine? They beat nobody. Although Boise State was a good win. Well, he played at nothing. That's not fair. That's not fair. But who did they beat? Grand Canyon, Utah Tech, William Jessup, UT Arlington, Tulane, Akron, Sam Houston, Pepperdine, UC San Diego, Norfolk State. I mean, he had two games. Kansas State and LMU, and they lost them in Oregon. What's his net? Nevada.
Nevada net right now 53.
Ken Palm?
87.
I mean, if they can go out and beat San Diego State and or New Mexico, it's going to help them a lot. All right, 505-246-0610. That's how to get to us today. 888-922-0610. Searching for anything new on Damar Hamlin. And just, everything we're hearing still is critical condition. But I'll get you updates as soon as we've got them. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, A. Marie, and Adrian on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
The Jim Rome Show.
Safe to say that anybody...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke, meet my family.
The Sports Animal.
All right, latest on Damar Hamlin. Cardiac arrest on the field yesterday, as you know. In a Cincinnati hospital, critical condition. 24 years old. Game officially postponed. From what I understand, the Bills went home. Most of them did. Some stayed. But it's not like they're going to play that game tonight or tomorrow. If you're thinking about football, what that means, I don't know anything. But, JJ, I've got to lean towards that game's not going to get played.
Fair assessment.
You will have an uneven schedule, and we're going to deal with it.
Be it. And I think everyone that was involved in that situation understands that.
It's imperfect. It's unbalanced. But I don't know what you're going to do. I don't think they're pushing the whole playoffs back for this one game. I don't think they're going to make these guys play 2 games in a week. I just think that's where you're going to be. Now, for those of you who had a fantasy football championship game and Josh Allen was your guy, or Joe Burrow was your guy, I don't know how you're going to rectify that. I haven't even thought about it. That's the first time I thought of that.
I was in a
situation?
couple group situations, and I'm like, guys, are we serious? Because people were trying to figure out what they're going to do for the big money leagues.
Yeah. You haven't even thought about that until literally just now.
One I'm in says they're just going to split the money between the top 2 people.
Probably the right way.
I think should be the right way.
It's probably the right way to do it. Unless, I don't know.
Playoffs, fantasy. This is so much bigger than that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know. What are the sports books? They just
I got my money back.
So that everybody just gives you back your money on that bet?
Yeah, all the money I put for Monday Night Football last night, they just gave back to you.
All that big money you put?
All that big money.
All that. Yeah, I got to believe you'll hear something from the NFL today in regards to competition.
They sent back your money this morning for the apps I use and said this is more than football, and they gave you your deposit back.
Good move. Look, I think for the most part, a horrific situation was handled about as well as it can be handled. I think in the back of your mind, you always know that this can happen. And JJ, I don't know. Do you ever, either of you ever think, I'm trying to think of boxing. Like, guys have died in the ring, right? But did you ever think we'd see someone die? And gosh, I mean, every prayer is with Damar Hamlin, because that's what I thought I saw last night. But did you ever think you'd see a man's heart stop on a football field? We've seen gnarly injuries, right? We've seen concussions and bones coming out and legs the wrong way and gnarly stuff. Did you ever think you'd see a life or death situation like what we saw last night? I mean, in the back of your mind, you knew it, but did you ever really think it?
I don't think about that often. Like when the moments happen, you're hit with the realization. Like when we see the concussions or players go motionless on the field. But
I'm going to tell you, I never thought I'd see that. It just never crossed my mind. I never thought I wouldn't. I just never really, you know what I mean? I never really thought, gosh, would we see CPR? And look, I run a game, and we make sure that we've got doctors there and ambulances and EMTs and everything. You know, we've got people on site just like everybody else does. You just never think you're going to have to, God forbid, put them into motion. And what I saw last night, it's stunning. So the other piece of, another piece. Who was it that called earlier? It was Jess or somebody, Tony? Somebody called, said, his buddy called, said, these guys are professionals. They got to go out and finish the game. No, they don't. But they are going to play again. And whether you're Damar Hamlin's teammate, best buddy, or guy who was on the other side of the field, you witnessed that last night. You were feet away from this man being revived on the field. And I don't know how to answer it. I'll ask the question, but I don't expect an answer. How do you go out and play again next Sunday? How do you clear your mind, prepare? This is my job. This is my livelihood. The show must go on. I understand. Prayers to Damar. I got a job to do. And are you thinking about it when you're going across the middle and getting hit like that? Or you can't? I don't have the answer. Do you?
I do not have the answer for how Buffalo handles that.
How does anybody?
I think there would be a lot of people that can handle it. Like,
well, I think they all will.
Yeah.
I think they all.
I think it's a fair question too. That some of the guys in the non-playoff games, does that hit them harder? I'm talking about for positioning, trying to get to the postseason. They may be second guessing things right now going into next weekend.
Yeah. Look, this has happened once in the history of the game, right? Now, I guess now twice. I don't know. When we sit here, first round of the playoffs, or hell, next Sunday, when you're watching Sunday Ticket in Red Zone, And you're watching the Vikings play for the 1 seed, and you're watching the Broncos play for whatever the Broncos play for, and you're watching, the Eagles try to get their 1 seed. Like guys, oh, what a hit! And are we thinking about DeMar Hamlin? We're going back into our mode, right? Do the players go back into that mode too?
Most of them.
Probably after that first hit, right? No. I just, guys, I've never seen anything like it. And I think the emotional support, and, we had Adolph call earlier. I'm talking about Chuck Hughes of the Lions back in 1971. I don't remember this. I don't ever remember hearing about it, to be honest with you. Died on the field. And obviously the game's come a long way since then. But the mental health piece is out of the shadows now, right? It's first, foremost, it's out front. Hopefully all these guys get there. It's crazy. As far as the football game, man, look, start redoing all your columns on scenarios, because I think those two teams are playing 16 games. Everybody else is playing 17. And you know what? It's all right. It's the way it's got to be. I just don't see, I don't see a way around it. We haven't heard the football's got to stop people yet, have we? Because that was one of my things last night. I think, okay, that song's coming too. Don't you think? It's a violent game, and it is a violent game. It is. But I mean, what if your 3-year-old said, "Dad, I don't want to play football"? Okay, cool. A lot of other things to play, right?
Yeah. And I think a 3-year-old's mind changes a lot too.
You think?
5 minutes about what they're witnessing or what they're watching, and it's the accepted risk of sport, but this even goes beyond that, because guys can say, "Hey, I know I could bang my head really hard. I know I can mess up my knee, ankles, this or that." I don't know if this has ever crossed your mind, like my heart's going to stop on a football field.
So here's where you don't know the impact it's going to have. So I told you I was watching with my daughter last night. Her Instagram this morning has a picture of DeMar Hamlin going over and hugging his family before the game. And it says, DeMar Hamlin, not only an incredibly talented football player, but also a son, a grandson, always made an effort to see his family before the games. And I'm not going to lie, this is not what I expected on my daughter's Instagram this morning.
Yeah. Thinking about that today.
I'm going to guess my daughter didn't know DeMar Hamlin from a golfer, a tennis player, a president, a politician, a student,
Let's be honest.
I didn't either.
A lot of people didn't.
No, I did.
The safety.
Did you know? What did you know of DeMar Hamlin this time yesterday?
Not as much as I do today.
Right. The impact, the fact that it's on her Instagram this morning, because she and I sat there and watched the sheer concern on her. And she's like, "Dad, they can't make these guys play football." I'm like, "No, they can't, and they won't." Babe. She's like, "Well, why are they saying 5?" And I said, "Babe, they're not putting these men back on the field." That was the impact I had on her. What about the people who are vested? That's my point. That's my whole point on this. Well, they're grown men. They're professionals. Yeah. You know what else they are? They're human. Francisco, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Comment on the Buffalo player, and of course we were all in shock last night, and who knows if that hit had something to do with, I mean, he had a heart attack. I mean, we just wish that his full recovery, and you always see the players that get hurt. I'm thinking about the Steelers linebacker who barely could walk.
Shazier.
Yeah. I mean, over and over, people are human, we're concerned about him, and what I think is going to end up happening, I think they're going to extend the season, the game, and they have to play that game, I guess.
Why?
I mean,
Why?
who knows?
Why?
But
Why?
I don't know. Don't forget. I mean, it's just my opinion. I'm not saying they have to or not. I think they will.
Yeah,
I think they will, because you forget that this is a business, and we don't want to see anybody get hurt at all. I mean, that's just awful.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering if that hit, what impact did that have? Obviously, it had some type of impact, but I mean, you wonder. I wondered do they do physicals on these guys thoroughly? I mean, did he have a hole in it? I mean,
who knows, right? Francisco, who knows?
I mean,
we hear all the time,
we're
guys.
just kind of all speculating right now, but we all wish, of course, a speedy recovery, and hopefully we don't see this again. And we remember the Lobo player, right? That I can't remember his name, but he was. I mean, he got paralyzed on the court.
They had to shut him down.
I mean, when it comes to that type of stuff, your heart and your spinal cord and all that, it could take the smallest little hit, and we saw that little hit against. I wish I could remember the kid's name. He was a good kid too, man. And
well, there was Devin Singletary last week, right? Or last year, Devin Singletary got shut down at the beginning of the year. Remember, they found a heart issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not Devin Singletary, not Devin Singletary. Why can't I remember the young man's name? Singleton. Saquon Singleton, Devin Singletary, Buffalo Bills. I'm staring at the Bills stuff. I'm thinking, Francisco, thanks. It was Saquon Singleton last year. Remember when he had that physical and it was a heart issue, and we thought that was it. Now he did come back and play a little bit.
Well, he had what Francisco was referencing. Devon Williams went down, but he wasn't able to play.
It was the New Mexico State game.
Collegiate career, but he's playing some like semi-pro basketball and stuff, so that's great to see him be able to move on. The Tennessee transfer for the Lobos was someone else that had to shut down due to that situation, and I cannot remember the kid's name right now.
So
for basketball,
look, the speculation is so hard because you just don't know. Could he have had a pre-existing condition? Yeah, we all can, man. I mean, we hear about
Some
that
of us
all
don't
the
know.
time.
Some people are just walking, have a heart attack.
We hear it all the time. Now, I don't think it's arguable that he got hit in the chest, right? I mean, we all saw him. He made the tackle high. T. Higgins kind of lowered his helmet and ran through him, and helmet went to chest. And then he got up, and then he dropped. Now, did that have any effect? Man, I'm not going to sit here in front of a microphone in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and guess. Now, all I know is he did get hit. Did that have any effect? I'm not a doctor, man. I mean, it feels like it might have, but I don't know. I'm going to listen to the doctors on this one. I'm going to wait for a report on this one. And honestly, does it matter? Does it matter? Did that hit have any effect? It doesn't freaking matter. You know why? Because that young man's fighting for his life right now. Now, to your point, can stuff like this be avoided? Number 3 on that list that you read me earlier. How do we investigate this? I don't know how you. I'll lean on doctors here. How do you thoroughly give these guys a physical and make sure, and you're checking for every single potential ailment so a guy doesn't drop on a field? I don't know how you do that, man, and how you continue to do it. We're all getting screened for something every day, right? I don't have these answers. All I know is what I saw was horrific. And you're just wishing for the best for Damar Hamlin. 505-246-0610. If you want to get in, you can. It's the opening drive.
This is Bomar Science with CBS Sports Minute. 2 weeks ago, 42-year-old Matt Ish.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rome Show is up next at 10 on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Text line helps. Emmanuel Negadu, who was the player you were talking about from Tennessee. We're reminded about Senku Carey. 2002-2003 season. Took a charge against Northwestern State. Transfer from Washington, who was really popular around here. Crumpled to the floor, and he was temporarily paralyzed. And I remember the initial, I can't believe I forgot about this. But I'm reminded about it now, and I'm reading some of the stories. It took a charge. They played Northwestern State. Said my body went numb. I was conscious. But I was so worried about my body, I was shocked I couldn't move. I remember the burning of my shoulders. I lied there and said to myself, my arms ain't moving, and neither are my legs. I just said I was going to lie there for a while, and hopefully the feeling would come back in my fingers. That was his quote. It did. He's coaching at Long Beach State now. Man, just look, we love sports. We watch it. We're going to bet on it, play it, fantasize, play fantasy football or whatever, basketball. Go out. Pit's going to be full. We're going to scream and yell. They're human beings.
They are. And we're so conditioned just to move on.
I know.
But this is different than even the severity of the concussions, but a lot of times, even in those situations, you get the update and you're waiting for it.
Right.
And you're like, oh, reports are, is
Did you
awake.
kind of think we were going to get that? I did.
Well, once I knew CPR was involved.
Yeah, but I was still kind of waiting for it. Like, come on. Give
But
me
that's
the
just
good
kind of
news.
like, oh, player's been transported to the hospital.
Yeah.
In good condition, moving.
Come on, just
Two
give me
thumbs
that
up.
good news.
Yeah.
Just that thumbs up that came through the Twitter. Just give me something. Yeah, I know. All right. 505-246-0610. 888-922-0610. Text line says, wasn't a Dallas Cowboy wide receiver discovered to have a potentially crippling neck condition that could have been one major hit away? He retired days after it was discovered. Yeah, that sounds right to me too. There's a lot of these things that to your point on Devin Williams, right? That was discovered in a wasn't that in a physical? And then he went out and played and I don't know, a lot of these things are just discovered in physicals and others too late, right? All right. What do we got? What's the spread tonight? Lobos and Fresno State. What would be the number that would get you thinking before you bet the Lobos?
Before I bet the Lobos?
Yeah, for you to bet the Lobos tonight, what would be the number that got you on a spread, got you thinking, I don't know.
Well, right now it's 4.5.
I know it's 4.5. I like the Lobos laying 4.5 tonight.
I'm taking the money line. On the
UNM?
Lobos. Oh, yeah.
No. All right. This isn't the one, right? This isn't the one they lose. I don't think. I just think they're better than Fresno State.
They are better than Fresno State. I do believe it's going to be a similar game to just Saturday. It's
Yeah, they're not going to blow them out the bill.
And because it's just a different intensity. It's because the Lobos are the only unbeaten. And this is the get-up game for everyone.
Let me ask you that. That's really interesting that you say that. So, if Purdue would have won last night, would it be any different?
No, they'd still be, it'd still be
one of the two.
One of two.
Right. But now they're the only one. So does that make it any different?
You're still getting the same intensity.
From Fresno State.
But it's a different storyline for us to discuss, after the game, because they'll mention that. Fresno State
100%.
sees the Twitter.
100%.
They see that logo where it's just New Mexico.
Everybody
across the United States.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to go back to being states again. Instead of one big giant cherry Lobo head. Yeah. All right. Other games in the Mountain West tonight. Boise State's at home, 10-point favorite over San Jose State. That's too much. Isn't it?
Yeah, wait.
San Jose State getting 10? Why wouldn't you want San Jose State there? Tell me what I don't understand.
No, I like the Spartans getting 10 points in that
10?
matchup.
Air Force at home, a 7.5-point dog to Utah State.
Like the Aggies there.
Lobos are on CBS Sportsnet, 9 o'clock tip tonight. It's going to be a late one, boys and girls. 9 o'clock, 8:30 pregame over on News Radio KK. Be too bad you're not doing the postgame show tonight, huh?
Ah, too bad.
By the time they brought out Richard and then brought out Josiah Alec, and then you'd get on, 9, 10, 11. You get on about 12, 15. Rob does some extended postgame shows, right?
Too bad. Missed opportunity.
I don't know. I'll call over to Playfly, see if they want to fire you up and get you out there. I don't know. You interested in going out to the casino tonight and talk Lobo Sports at midnight 30?
No.
You know?
I'll go bet on the game before.
No promise. I don't even know if they have a sports book out there. All right, tomorrow night in conference, Nevada will play Colorado State, and then we're back at got a good slate on Saturday. Really good slate with UNLV being here. San Diego State will be in Laramie. Nevada's at San Jose State. Utah State at Boise State, and Fresno State at Colorado State. So it's a good week, and we're in it, man. I mean, you turn the page into the new year, and it just feels different, doesn't it? The conference play.
It does.
It's something different. Well, they're not playing San Francisco and Santa Clara, although there'll be an Oral Roberts thrown in there. They're not playing UC San Diego or Metropolitan Life Pacific or whatever the hell that one team that shows up on all the California team schedules. Is that what it is?
Life Pacific.
I don't know what it is.
It is. Is that the school you go to become an insurance agent?
It feels that way. I mean, 100%.
Life Pacific.
What are you
Insurance.
majoring in? What else? I mean, insurance sales. Yes. So, what else is there? All right. You also get NBA tonight. Who goes for 40, 45, 50 tonight? Giannis will play. So it'll probably be Giannis.
Giannis or Luka. Good bets.
Luka's not playing tonight, I don't think, is he?
One of those guys is playing.
Yeah, Giannis.
Luka played last night.
Yeah. Yeah. Clay scored 54. Like I don't know. Is it me, or does it just feel like there's insane scoring performances every night in the NBA?
No, dudes are going off.
So it's not just like there's more
all
40
across the league.
Right? 40 is 30. Now I'm seeing 50, 54, whatever, 54. He scored 71. What?
Half the points.
71 points by Donovan Mitchell last night. By the way, the Cavs are pretty nice. I don't know if you've looked at all. I don't know if the standings mean anything to you, but the Cavs are fourth in the East. Just 2.5 games behind the Celtics, and the Nets have won 12 in a row. Oh, they won again last night, by the way. The Nets won 12 in a row. Golden State's back in the playing tournament.
They're great at home. They got to figure out that road
They're
thing.
going to be just. I think they're going to be fine. I really.
Steph's still not playing.
Right. I think that's one where do they flip a switch? They better figure something out by late February, early
You
March.
got time because we were looking and not even talking about the Boston Celtics midway through January, and they ended up in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I'm not worried about them at all, although it probably should be. All right, probably by tomorrow we'll have a little bit more, hopefully more news on, and hopefully it's good on DeMar Hamlin. I mean, I just, man, people who I didn't even know pray. I've heard, yeah, right? You saw just praying. It's amazing what humanity can do and pull for when it gets together.
His GoFundMe's up for $4 million now.
Is it? And his goal was like 2,500.
Yeah, it's up to $4 million now.
To go buy toys.
That he posted like 2 years ago.
It's so right. And all of a sudden, I mean, if anything positive comes out of this, and again, I'm not a doctor. I'm going to take positives as I can get them. When I heard that there were vital signs yesterday, and that intubating him and is not abnormal in a situation like this, pardon me for taking a positive. Good conversation today. Really good, mature input. Appreciate you. Now, just appreciate it. Sometimes it isn't all fun and games. And to have mature conversations about things, sometimes I'm proud of our audience. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4 o'clock. We're back with award-winning radio. Starting tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Adrian, great work. Good to see you. It's been
the band's back together.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Big day for you.
Huge day.
Oh, yeah, it is. Enjoy it. You better pack. You got to go to
Bring a
Laradice.
jacket.
All right. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll see you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.